Put on the fucking brakes! Put on the brakes! Stop the fucking car!
Hey, adrenaline junkies. Welcome to Police Chase. Today, we're launching a brand new series, When People Mess with the Wrong Cops. Every reckless decision sparks an immediate response, and justice wastes no time. Let's dive in.
Put on the fucking brakes! Put on the brakes!
Carroll, Iowa, the 5th of March, 2021, around 1 p.m. Officer Patrick McCarty stops a vehicle after recognizing 29-year-old Dennis Guider Jr., who is wanted in Illinois on a forgery-related case.
Hey, hate to be the one to tell you this, but it sounds like you got a warrant out of Illinois. Okay, you got your ID on you? Sorry? Okay. Do you have anything on you? Okay. Why don't you step out of the car until we can identify you? You got anything on your person, man? You got anything on you? Any weapons or anything like that? What's up? Awesome. Okay, go ahead and step out.
Instead of stepping out as instructed, Guider remains inside, forcing officers to slow the encounter and assess the growing flight risk.
Yeah, reach. Unbuckle your seatbelt and step out of the vehicle. Yeah, what's up? Stop the car, man!
Without warning, Guider forces the driver out of the seat, climbs behind the wheel, and ignores repeated commands to stop. As the car lunges forward, Officer McCarty is forced onto the hood while drawing his firearm. A vehicle intentionally driven toward an officer can legally be treated as deadly force, requiring officers to react to an immediate lethal threat.
Car! Stop the fucking car! Stop it! Stop the car! Stop the car! Get off the fuck! Put on the goddamn brakes! Put on the fucking brakes! Put on the brakes! Stop the fucking car! Stop the fucking car, man!
The suspect continues accelerating, with the officer still clinging to the hood. Moments later, the vehicle leaves the roadway, violently throwing Officer McCarty to the ground as Guider continues fleeing. With the suspect escaping through a construction area, Officer McCarty immediately radios that he is injured, while responding officers move to his aid. Once the immediate threat separates from the officer, preserving life and coordinating medical assistance become the tactical priority. Officer McCarty survived with a broken vertebra in his back and was released from the hospital later that day. Dennis Guider Jr., 29, was later arrested in Chicago Heights after abandoning the original car and stealing another vehicle. He was sentenced to up to 5 years in Iowa, separate from his Illinois incarceration for parole violations tied to burglary and fraud.
He's coming down the ramp, so the officers ramp.
Los Angeles, California, the 9th of August, 2023. After reports of a hit-and-run and an assault involving a stolen Department of Water and Power SUV, foothill officers locate the vehicle and attempt to stop. Instead of yielding, the driver accelerates away, forcing officers into a high-risk pursuit. High-speed pursuits require officers to continually balance apprehension with the danger posed to the public.
Any rally traffic, AME 6NX810 Lower Canyon Boulevard for a key injury incident 3627.
The pursuit shifts into a confined industrial property when the SUV crashes through a secured gate. Realizing there's no exit, the driver makes a sudden U-turn and heads directly back toward arriving patrol units, rapidly changing the tactical situation.
Your next right, he went through this parking lot. Next right, follow it up I have the vehicle. Hold on, he's turning around. He's turning around. He's going to be facing your way. Officer's coming up that ramp. He's facing your way. He's coming down the ramp towards the officer.
As officers move to contain the SUV, the driver accelerates into occupied patrol vehicles, using the vehicle as a deadly weapon. Officers respond with deadly force after the immediate threat escalates.
Officer's coming up that ramp. He's facing your way. He's coming down the ramp towards the officer. He's ramping.
Get out the fuck! Hey, get on the fucking ground! Shots fired! After these help! Shots fired! Get on!
Once the vehicle stops, they transition to cover and establish containment rather than rushing the suspect, reducing exposure while coordinating the next approach. With the SUV disabled, officers establish a perimeter and coordinate specialized resources before moving in.
We need to move the vehicle. Looks like he's reversing. Attempting to turn the vehicle. He's coming forward. He's ramming the police cars.
SWAT ultimately extracts 28-year-old Manuel Ramirez, who had been wounded during the officer-involved shootings. He was treated at a hospital, then booked on assault with a deadly weapon on a peace officer after investigators determined the Department of Water and Power vehicle had been stolen. 3 officers were injured during the incident.
31, right, 31, start EMS. Well, that's just bad timing.
Butler County, Ohio, the 29th of May, 2025, around 6 p.m. An Ohio State Highway Patrol trooper attempts to stop a GMC Envoy after clocking it at 82 miles per hour in a 65 miles per hour zone on I-75. Instead of pulling over, the driver continues north, weaving through traffic and creating an increasing hazard for everyone on the highway.
Hello. White female driver, black hair, 40s.
She's only going around us.
Light traffic.
After several minutes of refusing to stop, the SUV suddenly veers toward the median. The driver appears to overcorrect, sending the vehicle into a violent rollover that immediately ends the pursuit and shifts the trooper's priority from enforcement to rescue.
Off the right side of the road. Right in 31. Right, 31. Start EMS.
Dark squad, signal 5, perfectly lumber.
Yeah.
The trooper quickly assesses the wreck and spots smoke coming from the SUV, retrieving a fire extinguisher before approaching. Once the immediate fire risk is addressed, he forces open the jammed driver's door where an off-duty nurse joins him to evaluate the injured driver. Once an immediate threat is controlled, officers are trained to transition rapidly to scene stabilization and emergency medical care. Following the nurse's instructions, the trooper retrieves trauma supplies from his cruiser and returns to assist with treatment while awaiting EMS. Coordinating with medically trained bystanders and preserving life is a key part of post-crash response once the scene is secure. Jennifer Wilson was transported to a nearby hospital with minor injuries before being booked into jail. Investigators charged her with operating a vehicle under the influence, OVI, failure to comply with a lawful order, and losing control of her vehicle. and later linked her to a hit-and-run reported earlier that day in Montgomery County. Lathrop, California, January 27. Officers respond to a domestic violence call after 2 women report that 40-year-old Juan Valdez allegedly threatened to kill them.
He's running from John.
He needs help.
Here, come back here.
He tried to kill me last night.
Here, come back here. We'll talk to this guy. Hey, does John have any weapons right now?
Well, yeah, there's probably knives and stuff in the house.
Does John carry a gun? Hey, John. What's going on right now?
He will fight back. Be careful.
As officers attempt to make contact with the parked Nissan, Valdez refuses commands and keeps the engine running, signaling the encounter is rapidly deteriorating. Valdez suddenly drives away, leading officers through residential streets before entering southbound Interstate 5.
We're heading south on Jasper, back to Shadywood.
Copy, southbound Jasper.
Turn the car off now! I got you. I'm gonna get your 40.
3.13, CMC wants to know what the want is.
Turn your car off. Turn your car off.
Then Milton cooperative.
Boy 13, we're taking off again. We're going westbound on Shadywood.
Copy, westbound Shadywood.
Even after one of the vehicle's tires comes apart, he continues fleeing, creating a serious hazard for surrounding traffic. During pursuits, officers continuously balance apprehension with the risk posed to the public, adjusting tactics as conditions change.
Just tried to 245 Boy 13 with this vehicle. We're going to be on southbound 5 on-ramp from...
Boy 13, his tires covered apart.
Copy, higher coming apart.
Yeah, good balance.
With the damaged vehicle no longer usable, Valdez bails out and runs directly toward a passing civilian car, grabbing the driver's door and attempting to force his way inside.
He's trying to carjack a victim vehicle, holding on.
Trying to carjack the victim vehicle. What's the description?
Shot, dude! Hey! You're gonna get shot!
As the struggle continues and the civilian remains trapped, Officer Novello fires to stop what he perceives as an immediate deadly threat to an innocent motorist. Once the suspect is no longer a threat, officers move in, secure him in handcuffs, and immediately begin emergency medical treatment using an individual first aid kit. After a use of force incident, officers are trained to transition as quickly as safely possible from threat control to preserving life while awaiting paramedics. Juan Valdez, 40, was transported to a hospital before being booked into the San Joaquin County Jail. He was charged with carjacking, false imprisonment, and resisting arrest following the domestic violence investigation, pursuit, and attempted carjacking on Interstate 5. Strasburg, Virginia, the 17th of December, 2023, around 11 p.m. Officers are dispatched to a Ramada hotel after reports that 40-year-old Melissa Tompkins is acting erratically and destroying property. Surveillance shows her forcing her way behind the front desk and tearing apart offices before officers ever arrive. Tompkins leaves the building carrying a fire extinguisher and scissors before encountering Officer George Rathor in the parking lot.
Everybody!
Come here. It's the police, you're safe.
No, I'm not.
You're safe, come here.
Nigga, please.
I'm the police, come here.
Are you gonna take me to jail?
No.
No, for real.
Get on the ground right now! Ma'am.
Let's go in here. Come in here with you.
Stop, get back.
Why?
Get back.
She ignores repeated commands to stop, climbs over a railing, and suddenly charges the officer, turning an investigative contact into an active assault. During encounters like this, officers are trained to issue clear verbal commands and attempt de-escalation before escalating force whenever feasible. 2 taser deployments fail to stop the attack, and the struggle moves to the ground. Tompkins grabs the officer's radio, wraps the cord around his neck, disarms him of his baton, and repeatedly strikes him in the head, forcing the officer to respond with deadly force to stop what he perceives as an immediate threat of serious bodily harm or death.
Get out! Stop! Get out! Well, why did you do that? Why did you do that? Shots fired! Shots fired! Shots fired!
Put your gun away.
Oh, okay.
Come back here.
Why did you make me do that?
Come on, come back here. Come back here. Come on.
With the threat stopped, responding officers immediately transition from tactical control to medical care, handcuffing Tompkins before applying chest seals and beginning life-saving treatment while checking Officer Rathor for head injuries. Melissa Tompkins, 40, was transported to Winchester Medical Center, where she later died from her injuries. The investigation determined the confrontation began after reports of extensive property damage and escalated through repeated physical assaults on the responding officer, culminating in the fatal officer-involved shooting